Clinton over her new memoir on the 2016 election. As you saw tonight in my interview with Mrs. Clinton, she isn't shy about going after the Trump administration, and folks in the West Wing, they've certainly noticed.
I think that type of misunderstanding of who this president is, and frankly a misunderstanding of what he's been doing, is exactly one of the reasons that Hillary Clinton is not the president and is instead pushing a book with a lot of false narratives and a lot of, I think, false accusations and placing blame on a lot of other people instead of accepting it herself.
Back now with the panel. Just before the break, when I said that I was dreading reading this book, but I actually enjoyed it, I just dread reading any sort of political look-back book, because usually, to your point earlier, it's about I'm about to run for president, so I write a book that hardly anybody reads, but us reporters are the ones have to read.
Right, and this was, first of all, there's a book that's interesting because everybody does want to know what she was thinking, and she delivers on that, because she does let you know how painful it was and what she was thinking and how she really feels about Comey.
The fact that she's sitting there during the inauguration on the platform, thinking about other failed candidates, going back all the way to John Adams, it was sort of, I found...
And how all these people mistreated her and how she didn't let them get away with it.
And she spent a good deal of time trying not to make eye contact with people who had been cruel to her.
Well, let's look at what Sarah Huckabee Sanders just said there, because she's wrong, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, because Hillary Clinton's analysis and what she asserts about Donald Clinton Donald Trump in this book is on the money. She's got him. She's got the information. She's got the analysis. She talks about the racism that he appeals to and what's happened during his presidency, and about Russia. She knows what she's talking about, and it's really on point. But what she doesn't do is recognize that she may have been the wrong person all along to carry the message against Donald Trump. She's not effective at it as a campaigner. She wasn't, and I'm not sure that she would be today. She has been the most famous woman in the world for 25, 30 years. She is as much or more of a celebrity going into this election than Donald Trump was. And she's evaluated partly for having been in this bubble for 30 years, the charges against her of being entitled, acting entitled. There's something to it. There's something about some arrogance there, that she's vulnerable on counts that she really may not be able to help herself as a candidate. But she is right about what she says about Donald Trump.
When she says things in this book, I mean, she's certainly talking about Bernie Sanders in a way that she wasn't talking about him during the campaign. And you can take issue with the facts of what she's saying or whether she should be saying it, but she gets criticized if she holds back and doesn't say stuff. But then when she does write stuff of, thinking Jason Chaffetz was writing Priebus and what she says about Bernie Sanders, people think, oh, she's gone too far, she shouldn't have said that.
Right. Well, it is interesting hearing just how irksome the Bernie Sanders primary challenge was to her, and still is to this day. I mean, she clearly...
And that he didn't support her, once it was clear he wasn't going to win.
Right, that he did not, as she said to you, didn't offer the same level of respect by quickly moving to support her and consolidate his supporters to support her in the way that she thinks, perceives that she did with Barack Obama. She clearly, and still making the point that he's not a Democrat, challenging him of what he needs to do for the Democratic Party. This is somebody who still to this day, to her talking with you, is under her skin.
I think she decided, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And this is, you're either all in or you're not. And in the book, she also criticizes, for example, Joe Biden, who she says criticized her.
She settled some scores. Let's get clear about that.
She does settle some scores, but I think she probably made the decision now or never. And it's going to be now, and I'm going to tell the truth about how I really felt. And people are going to get angry at me, and there it is. So
part of the thing that happened with Bernie Sanders and during that primary campaign was a lot of focus on her speeches to the Goldman Sachs groups. And again, she put herself in that position. Bernie Sanders didn't put her there. She didn't need that money. She's the one that said to Diane Sawyer out of the gate, well, we left the White House dead broke, that she made these errors. And that set her up for a lot of things that occurred. She's never been a good candidate in terms of anything like her husband, and she was in many ways the worst possible candidate to run against Donald Trump.
We got to go.